and things like that, asking us to go and do and check out other tools and invest in other tools. And a lot of times we have them right at our fingertips already, and maybe we don't even know. We've got those acres of diamonds just sitting right underneath of us. So Chris is going to introduce us to some of those things. And so I'm going to let him take it away. And if you guys have questions, either chime in or put them in the chat, and I'll kind of monitor the chat as Chris is going, and then be sure to highlight them to him so he can do that at the right time. But without further ado, Chris, I'll turn it over to you, and we look forward to hearing what you have to share with us today.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Matt. First off, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing me to come in and speak to you all. Ken, good to see you again as well.
You too, Chris.
Guys, we're as Matt mentioned, my name's Chris Cole. I'm with Remax LLC, so I'm over on the corporate side. And I wish you were all here today. It's a gorgeous day in Colorado. It's just a perfect white, looks like white Christmas coming. Guys, as Matt mentioned, also we're going to be talking some high level views of what is available to you through Remax. So as many of you know, you have many tools available to you to conduct your business. It's not just MaxTech powered by KV Core, but we have quite a few tools. We're going to dive in right now. We're going to again give a pretty high level of what these tools are. We'll have the chat bubble open for you all to ask questions as we go, but bear with me as I go through this pretty quickly. I'm going to share my screen. All right, Matt, do you see my secondary screen?
You are good.
Perfect. Okay, it doesn't always track. I have to today's one of those work from home days, so you have to go around and turn off all the other devices. Okay, guys, so the very first thing we need to talk about is your Max Center. So this is remax.net. This is your access to all things Remax. And it seems like it doesn't need to be explained, but I always like to start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. So what you're looking at here, this is your basic login screen. For those of you that haven't been in here in a while, I want you to take note of this support number, okay? The 888-398-7171. We've also made some changes in the background of what's going on in KV Core, where this is your main support channel once again, okay? But for the sake of what we're talking about today, this is your main access. If for some reason your password needs to be reset, you go in here, you don't remember it, fill it in too many times, you get locked out, that's the support number to give a call. This also works for text, guys. Okay. Now, once you're in here, this is where the fun starts. This is similar to what your account will look like. I have of course, a admin account, so it looks a little bit different, but the basics are the same. Now, from here, guys, we're going to talk about not only the layout and what all is available to you, but we're going to dive into some of the more important items. Okay. So as we first get in here, I want you to take a look at the layout. What I see and what you will begin to see once you start to use it is you'll have some of the more important items will be highlighted up here. So they'll be on your homepage. Desktop pages, those of you that go way back, you know that when you get to a desktop, when you look at a dashboard, it's the user interface. They call it the UI. This is built around the old days when I'd walk in, I had an office with a desk. My desk had a calendar. I had my inbox, my outbox. That's what you're looking at here. And that pretty much follows along what you will see through your computing life. So the rest of your life going forward, always think of these first pages you get to as this is my desktop. This is my first starting point. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to point out, we're going to dive into a profile here in a moment, but I want you aware of what we're looking at. When we're talking about the tech deck, so the technical tools that are available to you in our deck of tools through Remax, we go in under apps and tools. Now, under apps and tools, you see it lays out the entire set. Yours will look somewhat different, but I want to show you what you will see and what we're concentrating on today, okay? Now, I've favorited the ones that we're talking about today. Learning and education, this is our portal into all things teaching from the Remax side. So if you want to get certificates, if you want to work on, you have some questions and you want to do a deep dive into Photify, how do I connect all my social media? These are some of the places where you can go to get those, okay? Support services. This is becoming more important now that we've tied in MaxTech powered by KV Core into our support. This is going to be a channel that you're going to need to reference again. Video and social content. This is Remax Hustle. And again, we'll dive into this here in a moment, but I want to give you context of where these things are. Marketing portal. This is where you got those questions of where do I get a logo? I really want to see, I saw that great balloon logo. I want to attach it to something. I want to get it downloaded so I can put it on hats. This is where you go to get that kind of stuff. Okay. The MaxTech powered by KV Core. This is where you launch into KV Core. All right. And finally, Photify. All right, guys, I'm going to go back over the dashboard so you have a view
Hey,
of what.
Chris, can I ask you one question really quickly? As long as we're giving them that Max Center overview, if they're in their apps and tools and they're in all, can you just show them how to favorite? If they wanted to set something up like what you just did,
Absolutely.
really, I know it's a
No,
small
no,
thing, but
thank
can
you
you
for
just show
that.
them how to do that?
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, so to reset the table, we're back here at our dashboard. We go under apps and tools over here on the left-hand side. You see across the top, I have a few different headings, and the one I clicked into was favorites. Basically, all you're doing here is you're highlighting this tab. So if I really like EDR travel, I can't wait for my next group of travel into your guys' area. I just highlight the little banner up here, okay?
And then
And
it
then
shows
I
up in
go into
favorites.
favorites, it's there. And the same thing to
Perfect.
remove them. So I'm conducting a class for Ken Crowley and his team. I'm going to get rid of that because you guys you don't get to take advantage of our travel bennies on this side. But yeah,
I
good.
appreciate it. That was simple enough. I just wanted to make sure if they wanted to set up their own favorites there, they knew how to do that. Thanks,
Yeah,
Chris. Sorry to
no, thank you. Yeah, no, it's a little frustrating when you see someone just click through things and you're not sure what's behind the scenes. So no, absolutely happy to do it. Okay, guys. One of the first things I want to talk about, and it's first because it is arguably the most important thing, is I want to talk to you about your profile. Okay. Now, guys, I'm Gen X. The first half of my life, there was no internet. There was no such thing as the World Wide Web. In fact, I'm so old, I don't think it's even called World Wide Web anymore. Here's my point. Your profile is what people will find when they go on the internet to look for you. Okay. So I meet one of you out. You're doing a marketing event. It's a sporting event. You've got some placement there, and I meet you. I might just absolutely love everything about you. Great handshake, great eye content. Everything's perfect. I'm still going to search you on Google. And one of the first things that we're going to find, and one of the things that blows through pretty much every piece, every tool that we're showing here, including Max Center, is going to be your profile. Okay. That being said, I want to show you one of the ones that is, I think, ideal. I use Angelica. Angelica is a Denver real estate agent. She's one that I use for a lot of my trainings because she's cutting edge on tech. And I say leading cutting edge, not bleeding edge. Okay. The difference is it's a little bit subtle, but it's important. You guys all know someone. Generally, it's I'll call them the younger generation that love to adopt new technology, whether it works or not. Okay. The reason I like to show Angelica's profile is because she adopts stuff that works. All right. Point of this conversation, you look down here. This is her profile through. This is her page through MaxTech powered by KV Core. So this is her KV Core live site. You move down a little bit, and we see Meet Angelica. This is what is pulling through with her profile. So I go down in here and I see her story. Now, what's important here, not only that it's well written, it is informative, it can show SEO, it shows specialties, you have different languages, you are showing your story. Okay. You're putting your best foot forward. Now, I'm moving back over into Max Center, and I'll show you where you do this. All right. So we're back in the dashboard on Max Center. Again, this is remax.net. You remember the login. And I'm going up here under my name. So up under your name, you click on the down arrow and you see the profile. This is where you update your profile. Now from here, you can add your story. I recommend, if you guys haven't been playing with it yet, I recommend leveraging some of the artificial intelligence. And I've been teaching a lot of ChatGPT. Ken, is that one of the items that's come up during your 12 days of training, some AI?
We're going to touch on it some tomorrow, but we have not yet. No.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'm wetting everyone's whistle for it. It is a terrific editor. It is a terrific writer. Okay, so if you're a little bit concerned with telling your story, you know your story. No one knows it better than you, but you're concerned with your writing skills. We're not all professional writers, guys. Leverage some of the AI that's out there. When you're in your class tomorrow, think of this when we're talking about when you're talking about artificial intelligence and specifically ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm moving back out of this. This is the profile overview. This is the tool, your profile, that is going to pull through most of everything we're talking about next. All right. So Guys, a little bit of a preface here. So years ago, I worked in window sales, and if you've ever had those people in your house, those are the people that just will not leave. And the guy I was learning this business from, he says, "All right, Chris, somebody mentions something once, it's important. They mention it twice, perk up your ears and listen. They mention it 3 or more times, that is crazy important." That's where profile is. Okay. So if you get nothing else out of this training today, make sure and go in, update your profile, get your languages in there, get your awards in there, do a little bit of SEO where you specialize in, get an updated high res photo in there. Okay. It's going to be found. Now, next thing we're going to talk about is some of the tools. So I already showed you how to get to these. It's through apps and tools. We're back in our dashboard in MaxCenter. We're going under apps and tools. I've favorited these that we're going to be talking about, and you understand where we're looking at there. The one I touched on earlier, I want to open up this interface so you have a view of what it looks like. Learning and education through Remax. Guys, the point of this is we have literally thousands of pages that are available to you. We have wizards, we have online learning opportunities, we have tons of stuff. Now for 2024, and what you will see is this interface, My Agent homepage. This is the interface that you're going to be seeing when you log into this. Keep this one indexed in the back of your brain, because there is a lot of good stuff here. Again, we've updated for 2024, so it's getting better and better. If you're looking for some certificates, this is the place you go. If you're looking for some deep dives into the technology, into the overview of what Remax has to offer, this is where you go. All right, backing out of that. Next thing I want to talk to you about is we'll mention support services. I talked to you about that up front. Support services, this is our IT through Remax. And as we've integrated MaxTech powered by KV Core into our tech services, this one is really important, guys. Okay. So you can also get to this from inside the platform, but if you forget how to get to them, just trigger in your mind, okay, that's through MaxCenter, that's through my remax.net. Now, the first one of the tools we're going to talk about here, guys, is Photify. For those of you that either haven't used this for a while, you forgot it existed, what this tool is, this is content creation. So you see the great stuff that's coming up on Facebook, you see stuff coming up on Instagram, you see this meme-driven world, this visual world. This is where Photify comes in, okay? Now, those of you that have a view of this from a year ago, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, you'll remember this as being an app-only tool, only available on your phone. That's not the case anymore. There is now a desktop version of this tool, okay? Now, give you an idea of what this does. I gave you kind of the highlight. This is how you create those beautiful memes, the beautiful graphics, the kind of stuff that you really are proud to put out there in your social media world. But let me give you an instance. You're in a sales call. So you're talking to someone, you're meeting Chris Cole, I'm selling my house. You walk out the door, the meeting's been great. Turn around, take a picture of the house. It's a nice snowy day. I've got all the lights up. You know, it's gorgeous. Take a picture of the house. You can go into Photify. You can grab one of the images that it will insert a Remax sold sign. Okay. So you can grab that image of my house. You insert a Remax sold sign in the door. You send that to them with a "Thank you so much, Chris. It was great to meet you. I can't wait to work with you. We're going to have your house sold in no time." That's one of the things that Photify does for you.
Are you kind of talking about that graphic that's on the screen there, where it would be obviously their headshot, their name, but it's the listing they literally just walked out of, and in about like 60 seconds, 90 seconds, they could be emailing that to their person as they walk out the door. Is that what you're saying? A graphic just like that? Yeah,
absolutely right.
So imagine yourself on that graphic that's on the screen there, folks.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And if you can't see it, let me blow in a little bit. So this is what Matt's talking about. So you see, this is the photo version of this tool, or the app version of this tool. And it's the speed that you're able to produce quality materials. That's one of the things that's great about it. Now, with the desktop version, you have the ability to dig a little bit deeper. You can include and attach your social medias. So you can immediately attach your Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're using right now. And you're able to send these great graphics over to those. Now, I'll end with this with Photify, guys. Now, this one, of course, you can dig pretty deep in there. What I suggest is you get in there, you play around in this tool a little bit, you see how easy it is to make these graphics. This one has a cost associated with it. It's nominal. I think it's $8.95 a month, but this one does have a cost associated with it. Okay. Now, the next one I wanted to talk to you, we're going to go back in. I want to show you where we're getting to all of these tools. So we're back in our Max Center. What we just looked at was Photify. You know, this is content creation, quick content creation. Now I want to talk to you about video and social content. And we're going to be talking about Remax Hustle. Now, guys, Remax Hustle is one of my personal favorites. This one definitely could take an hour to teach fully. And those of you that were coming in early, you heard Matt and I discussing, we're absolutely open to some more trainings, perhaps creating some videos for you guys, but we want to gauge your interest in what these tools are, and you can help us with what you want next, what you want to dive deep into. Now, when I say video creation, those of you that are like me, I get caught up on Instagram. So a few years ago, one of my kids said, "Dad, have you seen this?" Yeah, okay. And I saw it. Now every time someone's repairing a tractor, I'm stuck. You know, I'm going down the rabbit hole of, okay, what's the next video on here? What's the next video? You guys can attach yourselves to that world. Okay. You have the ability to create videos. You don't need to be going out and paying for these third-party tools. And this is part of the reason why the brokerage here is conducting this 12 days of training, is to let you know the tools that are available to you. This is one of the very, very terrific tools that's available to you guys. Okay. Now, some of the things you can do: create a hustle graphic. And this one is very popular with brokerages, but what you can do here, you can see from the headers, I'm not going to take the time to go through it, but you can see, you can put together what you've done in the last 12 months. So we see a lot of these pop up during the Christmas party time of year, the end of year parties, the get-togethers, and it basically will talk about what each of you have done. How many homes did you sell during the year? How many homes did you help buy? How many commercial properties were you in? Of course, if you leave these blank, they won't show up. But when you produce this produces a very clean, very nice graphic that you can share. All right. Customize the commercial. Those of you that have seen a lot of the Remax commercials, the kinds that make you cry, that's what we're talking about here. We can leverage those commercials. All right. You can put your photo on there. You can, again, grab your profile and attach that to these Remax produced, these incredible quality produced commercials, and share those with your clients. All right. One of the ones I like to show, and we'll dive into this one a little bit, but this is the highlight your skills video. So what you do with this one, and they are truly this easy, guys, this easy to do. I hate to do them too much live. That's why we'll have follow-up trainings, because that's when technology crashes on you. But what you would do with this, you just go in, it asks you to fill in your information. So a very simple wizard interface. So you would add your info in here. You'd select your brand logo, name, office name, whatever you want to put in here. You upload a headshot, upload your photo, and then you choose which one of these videos below you want to attach this to. Now, one of the things that I've been teaching people to do is leverage these and attach these in with KV Core. So KV Core, if you've been through the lead generation tools yet, and we'll touch on those a little bit later, but if you've looked at some of the lead generation tools, one of them is video. I understand from Matt, you guys have had a YouTube class. Is that correct, Matt? Am I speaking out of turn?
We have a video class on Monday. So Monday, it is on the schedule, but it hadn't happened yet. Yep.
I am setting up the tea for everything. So this is one of the things that you can create your own videos very, very quickly, about the time it takes me to talk through it. And then you have those available. You can share those, of course, on Facebook. There are some of these profiles, some of these videos that are built for Instagram. So you can build those, and they will have your graphics in there. They will have your profile built into them. Okay. We're going to back out of this. And I realize, guys, very, very top view of this. So I know there's questions. Those can be answered later. But I would like all of you to, there's no cost associated with that one, by the way. So get in that tool, start playing with it. All right. We talked a little bit about the marketing portal already. MaxTech powered by KV Core. This is the one we're going to talk about next. Okay. Now, I have done trainings that can go up to 6 hours on MaxTech powered by KV Core. It's a pretty deep topic. we're going to just wet your whistle with this. I'm absolutely happy to come back and go into a much deeper dive, but this is one where you access the tool. Once you're in the tool, this is what you're going to be seeing. You're in your, let me see, holy tabs, Chris. This is what you see when you first log in. Okay. Now, similar to when we got into Mac Center, guys, what you're looking here, this is a dashboard. Again, this is that user interface that is sometimes called a desktop. Called a desktop because it is showing you what you'd have in an old-fashioned desktop. I worked with a guy yesterday. He got his license in 1972. And he was like, Chris, explain this stuff like I got my license in 1972. And that's the best I can give is, okay, Joe, you had your desktop and this is what you had in there. You had your calls that were scheduled. You had your tasks that were scheduled. You had your large calendar on there. You had the business that was happening during the day. In this tool, of course, you can attach your Google. You can attach your Outlook calendar. What you're showing here is the day's activity. So these are the things that are most important. You can think of the tabs you see down here as somebody walked in, they threw a business card on your desk. Chris, I need you to contact this person. They came in, they're very interested in selling their home. That's what you're looking at when you get into the MaxTech Powered by kvCORE dashboard. Okay. Now, really quick, some best practices, and then we're going to dive into some of the things that tie into the tools we just spoke about. Some of the best practices, folks, are one, knowing what you're looking at here, knowing what's the difference between smoke and fire. This is a third-party platform, meaning we made an agreement with IRE, which is the company that built the kvCORE product, what you see here, and we bought a certain amount of tools for you. That doesn't mean that they don't have more tools. They do. And you'll occasionally see pop-ups, things that they're wanting you to buy third party, to buy as an extra. We don't encourage that at all. All right. I can tell you that they're out there. There's some that I could say, yeah, I've got some people that have used these, but generally, if you see those pop-ups, you can ignore them. Okay. Now, one of the pieces we're talking about there would be what you see in the today's objectives. If you get over here and you look in the get refuse and referrals, that can be ignored. That tends to drill down into some of the upsells that they're doing. Okay. Playbooks, you can think of this as some tools, some wizards. Think of it as the basic plays in football, the basic pick and roll in basketball. It just throws out some basics and shows you how to do those basics. All right. Now, other best practices, guys, under kvCORE trainings, I really want you to pay attention to the Agent Quick Start if you haven't done it already, and View Training Calendar. These are two very, very important tools that help you learn the platform itself. These both attach you to kvCORE tools, but they're very, very good at giving you an overview of what this tool does, what sets it apart, why is it a little bit different from other tools you've used, all right? And then finally, download mobile app. Now I'm going to open this one and we're going to talk a little bit about this. If you haven't done it already, you absolutely need to get your apps downloaded. Now I say apps because there's two here. All right. There is the full app, which is what you see over here, MaxTech Powered by kvCORE mobile app. And there's the Open House app. Now, here's why I want you to go through this vector. I want you to go into the kvCORE dashboard, click on the button I just clicked. I'm going to show you that again. Okay, guys, we're back here in the, we're back here in our dashboard. It's up here in the top right, download mobile app. Now, most of you have downloaded enough apps that you go to your app store, whether you've got an Android or an iPhone, you go to the app store, you search kvCORE, boom, you download it. That's not the right place to get this, guys, okay? It'll work for a little bit, but eventually it'll crash on you. It'll crash because we apply what's called SSO. SSO stands for single sign-on. It just means that as long as you're logged in here, the app will remember your credentials, okay? Now, we'll touch on this just a little bit. For those of you that have not brought these in yet, or you've downloaded them through the App Store, you're going to want to delete that and download them from here, all right? And it'll remember the profile, all the stuff that you've done within the app. You won't be losing that. You'll just make sure and have the correct connection. So the way this works is you would click on, you see down here where it says App Store, Google Play. You just search below that. And if you've got an Android device, you would say, text me the Android link. If you've got an Apple device, you say, text me the iOS link. And as long as your profile is set up correctly, remember we talked about profile once, we talked about it twice. I think this is third or fourth time. As long as your profile is set up correctly, your phone number is in there, these will immediately send a text to your phone, and you're able to upload the app into your phone. Okay. Now, conversely, what we're talking about here with the Open House app, completely separate app. And guys, this one is slick. I've worked with, at this point, probably 6 different open house apps in the marketplace, and worked with companies that actually built these. And this is by far my favorite. One, it's very, very clean. So this is the tool that you have open. You put this on your tablet, you have an open house. That's the one that's open. As people come in, you have them sign in. It's just that simple. What happens on the back end on this is it recognizes not only the house that they're at, it captures the name, it puts that information into your CRM as a new customer, but it relates them to that house. Okay, here's what I mean by that. You've got an open house. It's a 3-bedroom ranch. It's on a 1/4 acre of land. I'm talking Colorado now, so it's specific to my market. It's $550,000. That is the home that this system will tie them to. So it will also show that, hey, this is what they're interested in. So it's capturing information, it's capturing that contact, and it's doing it automatically. All right. Now, same thing here, but remember, for an open house, you generally don't want that on your phone unless you've got one of those enormous phones that you don't mind people using to log in at the open house. You're generally going to have this on your tablet, your Android device. And at that point, you're going to want to do the download a little bit different. You're going to want to do a copy to clipboard and email it to yourself. All right. So then you'd email it to your tablet. You'd open up your email in the tablet, and that's the way you would launch this app. All right. Now, guys, we're going to go back into the dashboard, and if there's questions on that, absolutely happy to take those, because I want to make sure that each and every one of you gets the app downloaded today. Very, very powerful app. Virtually anything you'll see on the desktop version of KV Core, you'll see within the app. All right. Now, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the Core Listing Machine, Design Center, Core Social. First, I want to preface with what those are. Those of you that knew Megaphone, that used Megaphone, this was the tool that Remax had, where a listing came in, it automatically created content for you. That's been sunset. That's been put to bed, and it's been replaced with these tools within KV Core. All right. Now, where these are, bear with me as I find my mouse. You go over here into marketing, and you see the 3 of them. You see across the right-hand side here, Core Listing Machine, Design Center, Social. Let me give you a really quick overview on these guys, because these are another one of those that takes a little bit more time, that you want to do a very, very deep dive in. First, and I would teach these backwards of the way they're presented. The first one we're going to look at is your Core Social. All right. Now, for all of you that have not been in here, that have not played in it, the first thing you're going to see is that this learning wizard will pop up. Guys, highly recommend. I would almost say to the point of, it is a must do. Watch these videos when they pop up. If you get this kind of stuff that comes up as you get new tools within KV Core, watch it, launch it. They do a very, very nice job of delivering the kind of learning content that you need, and it walks you through the setup. All right. What we're looking at here, this is the tool that allows you to connect automatically and to forward plan with your social media. All right. So similar to what we were talking about with Photify, and Photify, you can connect these videos you're making, or excuse me, you can make this great graphics content, connect that with your social. This is where you can connect your listings. This is where you can leverage some of the articles that you might want to send. So for instance, I could go out here and I could say, all right, for the end of the year, through the 25th, through the 29th, a lot of folks home. I want to deliver a lot of content about what's going to be happening in the new year. You know, what my plans are as a real estate agent, what the brokerage has implemented. I want that stuff built out there. What you do simply is you go up here into your settings and preferences, and this is where you're building this tool. You connect your social media connections. All right. All I would do is click edit, and I'm able to quickly connect those. All right. And then I'm able to forward plan what's going on in here. I'm going to back out a little bit. We're going to go over and we're going to look at Core Listing Machine. Guys, those of you that have listings available to you, this is happening already. This is happening in the background. What happens as soon as you get a listing come in, you've got some key issues, some key content that's being created. You've got the one page listing. You've got a web listing available to you. You've got the postcards. So those are automatically created. Now, I don't, one of the the places we're lacking on the corporate side is we cannot create fake listings. So we have to see actual listings for this tool to work. Matt, that's definitely one that we can dive in a little bit deeper with follow-up trainings, because it's good when we can show what you guys have. But what I want you to take away from this is you have the ability here to not only have that content created automatically, but to be able to send it from the platform. So I showed you where you could share this in social media. I've got a new listing. I've got the great little video built around the listing that happened automatically. Boom. I can share that up with my Facebook. I can put that wherever I like to have my social media content. Okay. Now, next thing I want to talk to you guys about is lead generation. All right. We're going to do a high view on lead gen. I want to show you some of the tools available and also kind of whet the appetite for how this ties in with what we're going to be doing later. Guys, when we talk about lead generation with MaxTech powered by KV Core, we're basically talking about three things. Okay. We're talking about the website. I'm going to back up to the dashboard. I want to show you where I'm going. So I want to reset the table. So for all of you, when you're at your KV Core dashboard, if you go up under your name, go 3 down, this opens your website. So what you're seeing here, this is the live website attached to this test account. With KV Core, you're all given these. So as soon as the system's launched, you've got your website. First off, guys, a high view of this, the days of being worried about heavily customizing this website are past. What is delivered is very, very functional for you. And here's why I say that. The marketplace has changed around us. 6-7 years ago, I would have been pushing all of you to, hey, get the video in there, add some pages. You got to have 4 or 5 other pages in there. It's what's driving the market. Market has changed around us. Consumers like to get into a website. They don't want to learn anything new. They want to get in there. They want to search for homes. That's why that's right here. If they're a seller, they want and they expect to see a place where they can sell their home. They can find out, what is my home worth? Okay. They want to quickly get to that. If they are selling with you, if they're listing with you, they want to be able to see their home, see the graphics, request, hey, why did you put that picture of the kitchen in? I had a much better one. You guys know they want to see that kind of stuff. All right. Now we're talking lead gen. So here's what we're emphasizing on with the website. First off, I just touched on this, but this is another one of these takeaways, guys. Everyone needs to have this done by the end of the day. This will bring in sellers. When I click on the sell button, and yours may be named a little bit differently, but it basically brings you to the same place. It's a home valuation page. Here's what I mean about get this one today. We go into this page, you see as a consumer, so I'm in your marketplace. I'm interested in selling my home. I saw your advertisement that brought me to your website on the side of a bus. Boom, here I am. I put my address and the system is going to return some automated valuation to me, meaning it's going to show what my home is worth. But before it gives me that information, it's going to request my email, phone number, and of course, I have the address. So here's what we've done. We have just gotten great sell signals from somebody. The system is going to take this information. It's going to drop it into my admin, and I'm going to have a new contact. I'm going to have a new contact that is marked as a seller. I'm going to have their address. I'm going to have their contact information. So at that point, you guys can run with that. You know exactly what to do when that happens. So get this up on Facebook today by grabbing this link, putting it up on Facebook, and say something along the lines of, are you curious to see what your home is worth? It's just that simple. This one will start returning dividends right away. All right. So we're moving back into the platform. Guys, this is another one of the places where I want to show Angelica's page. When we're talking about the kind of customizations that make a difference, this is what we're talking about. You can see largely, clearly this is the same platform. This is the same system we're looking at. But what she's done is added a little bit of customization that makes a bit of a difference. Added some wells in here. She has her just listed. She made sure that these are in her service area. That's one of the common things that happens. So I'd like for you all to make sure you take a look at that. Make sure that these just listeds are truly in your service area and not outside, because the system sometimes pulls extended listings from outside your particular service area. Okay. The same thing on the open houses. Make sure that these are in your service areas. Remember, we talked about the profile and how that pulls in. And one of the last things I want to talk to you about here is, holy tabs, guys, is blogging. Now, this is one that I definitely want to touch on. I want to come back and talk to you more about. as you guys are doing your chat GPT, as you're doing your artificial intelligence class, think in terms of content creation. Okay. Now we're still talking lead generation. How is this website generating leads? I showed you one of the ways that it can generate sellers. That's through that sell tab. The blogging is one of the ways that you can generate listings from or people contacts from outside of your area. So listings that you wouldn't think about. You put something along the lines of, where's the best place to cut a Christmas tree? What are the best dog parks in my area? You're putting that kind of content up. People are searching this on Google and they're finding their way to your website. And when they click on one of these, they are in your branded website. They immediately have a property search. So not only have we created content that is of interest, that is driving people to your website, guys, that's the definition of SEO, is that ability for people to find your website and get to it. Okay. But they are in here and they are able to do a property search. So they could have gone in here to look for the 5 best restaurants for Valentine's Day. They get to this page, they get to this content. You've got someone that came into your platform from a direction, from a vector you had no expectation they would come in, and they're on your web page. They can begin looking for properties. And of course, once they interact with your site, you get those contacts in on KV Core. All right. So back over here. You have your listings in here. You have your blog post. We can also tie in some of the other lead generation. Okay. So talking lead gen still, the first one was our website. That is the first lowest hanging fruit as far as lead generation goes. And then when we get a little bit deeper, I'm back in our platform, guys. We're back at the dashboard. I'm moving over here across the left-hand side down to lead engine. So 2 of the other tools that are built into KV Core that will generate contacts for you, that will generate leads, are the landing pages and the squeeze pages. Okay, we're going to spend a little bit of time on landing page. I want to show you what you have here. So as you move along in Google, you're in Facebook, you see these advertisements pop up. You're probably seeing these pages already. You'll see something that looks similar to this, and it's content driven. All right. So here's what a landing page is. A landing page is going to be clickbait. So at its essence, it's you're putting out some sort of expertise you have. Perhaps you're really good at converting first-time home buyers. Perhaps you're really good at converting renters into buyers, and you want to build that advertisement. That's where this page comes in. All right. So what you can do here is everything you see here is editable. So down here, I could throw in something about, are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Are you ready to quit renting? Through each of these tabs, also editable, I can add something about once you get a first and last month's rental fee in, it costs almost as much as a down payment. You know, in our area, that's actually true, guys. You can throw in all of the information you'd like, because the intent here is to grab a specific lead, have them leave their email and phone number, and get to some information that you're providing. Again, landing page is you're trading some expertise you have for clicks, for someone to add their email and phone number in there. Where do you get that content? This is back to blogging, guys. All right. So let's say I want to make this a first-time homebuyers landing page. I want to build this out. I want this to go to people that are renters, that are prospective buyers. I can have something along the line in my blog post of what are the 5 steps for first-time home buyers in your specific neighborhood. All right. I can actually link this document in to my landing page, to my lead gen. And when this consumer clicks on this content, that's what they're seeing. They're driven to my blog. So not only do we have a tool out there doing work on our behalf, but we've linked it into our branded website. All right. Now, I know that concept, this is definitely drinking from a fire hose. If you heard that up front, this is one of those that this one's a mile deep, and we will dive into it later. But what happens at the end? So you put this out, you share this out on Facebook, you share this out on Google. People go in, they're like, yes, I am a first-time home buyer. They click on this, you will get not only that contact in the back end, you'll get them as in your smart CRM as a new contact, but you will get an attached hashtag. All right. Now, we're not going to spend much time on this because this is more built for an overview, but a hashtag allows us to identify people. So with that landing page that I built out there for first-time home buyers, not only do I have people that are driven back to me that will be marked as a first-time home buyer. But I can launch, we're looking now under marketing, under smart campaigns. I can launch campaigns automatically that are built towards marketing to them. All right. Now, if I were to walk up to any of you today, I say, hey guys, I'm Chris Cole. I'm a first-time home buyer. What do I need to do? You all have 5 to 20 steps. You've done this. This is expertise you have in your mind. Guys, that is what builds a campaign. All a campaign is step-by-step communication with somebody. All right. So remember what we've done here. This is lead generation. We've built a tool for generating specific leads. In the back end, we have the capability of launching campaigns that will speak to them. So you build this, you set it and forget it. This is the kind of work that's out there working on your behalf, generating leads. The system is communicating with them on your behalf. And the system is also smart enough that when these come in, when someone responds to some of the communication you send them, it throws its hand up and it says, hey, agent, I've got a hot one here. I've got someone who's interested, someone who's interacting with what you're sending. Okay. One of the last items we'll talk about, guys, in Lead Engine was a squeeze page. Squeeze page, think of this as, you can tell already, the interface looks very similar to what you see when you're doing an MLS search. So looks just like like an MLS filtering. What we're doing here is we are getting links that will return some listing results. So when you think of squeeze pages, just think of listings. You know, you may want to highlight a new community coming up. You may want to highlight 55 plus communities. Guys, I was doing one of these classes in Pittsburgh through July, and one of the agents, one of the things they like to do is leverage the noise factor. You know, so you guys probably know in July, I think people these days are spending $30,000 each on fireworks, and they scare the heck out of your dog. So one of the tools that they were building was a squeeze page that highlighted 55 plus communities, highlighted communities that had noise abatement. Okay. And this is something that they would grab the link, they would build out the filter to display nothing but 55 plus communities in the areas that they work in. And then on Facebook, they threw up a post that said, are you tired of your dog being scared to death for the entire month of July? Ready for a 55 plus community? Click here. This shows the listings. That's what a squeeze page is. Delivers content that the consumers can look at, and then you have their names. Okay. All right, guys, we're moving. We moved through pretty quickly. Let's leave. We've got 15 minutes. Are there any questions? I know, again, drinking from a fire hose, but through the items we talked about, are there any questions you all have? Matt, did anything come through the chat bubble?
I did not see anything come through. We had a question about Photify, which we kind of addressed it. I think we got that one handled in there. One that came up for me, is there any limit to the number of squeeze page or landing pages that you can create?
No, there's not. No, and thank you for asking that. Here's what, let me give you a little bit of idea what's happening in the background. So I go over here, and guys, there's with a website, there's more than one way to get to things. All right. So you saw I was going down the Lead Engine. I was clicking directly on landing page. You can also get to it by clicking all Lead Engine tools, and you see the tool right here. So what you see when it says, please select a domain, this always asks you that question. All it's doing is it's identifying your domain. So all of you, unless you're a system admin, you're only going to see one here. Here's the answer to your question, Matt. What's actually happening in the background is we're building web pages. We are building pages that are physically attached to your website. There is no limit. You know, a trillion, you know, because we're attached to Amazon web servers, terabytes of data. You would have to have a machine building these one a second to ever even come close to the upper limit. These are all saved in here, so you can see the landing pages you've built. So it houses all those for you. So you can see I've done quite a few trainings, and I get quite a few of these showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, one of the things too, Matt, let me touch on this before I move off this topic. I'm going back up to all marketing. I'm clicking on all marketing, hashtag management. So if this is one you haven't touched on yet, it's a very important piece of the KV Core tool. Guys, hashtags are like the central nervous system that run throughout KV Core. Let's say I bring in 10,000 contacts from other CRMs. I need to be able to communicate to these people. I need to be able to identify and communicate with my 55 plus folks. I need to be able to identify and communicate to these people that come in as first-time home buyers. This is where that's done. So what you can do, for instance, that landing page we just built, that was geared towards first-time home buyers. If I get 25 people, in this case, I've got 15 people that have answered those. I can go in there, I can look at this hashtag, and I'm able to communicate with them immediately. So I can send emails to them. So let's say you don't want to build the campaign on the outside. You have some very specific landing page you want to build, and you want to be able to communicate with them onesie, twosie. This is the way you can do that. This is one of the tools you have available to you to do that.
I love it. And the reason I asked, Chris, was because I mean I think we're geared to focus on first time buyers or move up buyers or whatever, but over the course of these 9 and 10 days, we've heard from folks that have said, look, there's life events are moving the market, right? And so I think a lot of people, oh, the market's good, the market's bad. The market is what the market is, and people are still moving no matter what. And we've heard that drum pounded this entire series. And so we talked a lot about like the D's that move the market, which is diplomas, diamonds, diapers, divorce, disability, and death. And then there's 2 R's, which is relocation for a new job or whatever, and retirement. And those have been covered over this series. But choose one of those that you really, really like. And let's just say it's a relocation for a job. Do a landing page or a squeeze page for something like that. So you've got a very robust tool here. I saw one other thing, Chris, unless anybody else has a question. If you could go back to that series of he's building one in 30 seconds or less. Yeah, people are not retiring to Northern Virginia and Maryland most times. They're retiring out of this area, but yeah, but what to do with that? But he's building it on the fly right there in front of us.
No, but that's a good prospecting tool for sellers.
Yeah, yeah. So you want to go to? I've seen people move Williamsburg. They moved Tennessee. They moved to Florida. They moved to Arizona. Like escape the cold and get to the warm, something like that. But you can build an unlimited number of these. It's always great to drive people to your website. But we've also heard in marketing, like the more niche down and the more you can speak to your desired avatar, the person you really want to serve, the better. And these squeeze pages allow you to speak directly to them. Jim, I know we talked about your farm earlier in the program or in the series as well. You could literally do a squeeze page specific to that farm. So when they land on it, it says that farm name in it, right? And it's customizing that market to a farm that you want to take advantage of. And those are all possibilities of things that you could do. I don't want to go deep on this, but you did, when you were in the dashboard and you went to the marketing tools, when you were showing us how to build the landing pages, if you could go back to the overview page, the all lead engine tools.
Absolutely.
Look, we do not have time to go over there was one that said birthdays. Where did it?
Oh, that's actually under marketing. Yeah. So
okay.
what
I don't want them to miss it. We don't have to go really
Yeah.
deep on that, but if you can just look at this core voicemail drop and birthdays, you have an opportunity to put your people up there, and the system will give them anniversaries. It'll send them birthday messages. And again, we don't have to go super deep on it today, but just know that there are things there that you can put those little touches out, and the system, you've got a robot in the background working for you and doing all of this stuff. So whatever things were there, like, yeah, there's a lot there for you to kind of look into. So get in there and explore around, right?
Talking automation, there's quite a bit, guys. This tool is known for its automation. It's known for doing this work once, spending a day working on what's my automation going to be for 2024 and launching that. The one I just clicked into, behavioral automation. This is saying if I'm driving people to my website, let's say they come in 3 times. So the lead revisits after 14 days. They visit 5 times a week. The system will automatically communicate with them. So it's taking these buy and sell signals and it's doing something about it.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to get overwhelmed and get paralyzed with it. But our encouragement and our hope with all of this is like, just choose something. Like if you're jazzed about doing a landing page for your community, let's do that. If you're jazzed about figuring out how to celebrate the birthdays and the anniversaries of your folks, like, let's go do that. Let's get something going in there, because the more you get into this, I think the more excited you'll be about how this can really help you nurture business, nurture your clients, nurture your relationships, and fill your pipeline. I mean, and so that's ultimately what it is. But as you can see, it's very, very robust. Tracy had a question, but it looks like she answered it within 2 minutes. So she asked it at 49 and answered it at 51. So I think she's good there.
Nice. Okay.
Is there anybody else that has a question before we sort of wrap up and let Chris get on with his day?
Just a comment just on this simple little birthday thing. How many agents do you think are actually texting all of their clients and saying, "Hey, happy birthday"? I mean, little things are the things that make big things. And this is a little thing that's going to mean a lot to your clients. Like I said in the remarks, this thing does everything but walk the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a
Super cool.
question.
There we go.
How important is it, to get our personalized phone number for KV Core, do you think?
Are you talking smart number, or you're talking about getting your number in there? Your phone number.
When they call in, can't you get your own personalized phone number so it goes just to you directly?
Yeah,
on
you're
KV Core?
talking about smart number. I wouldn't say important at all. And that one's that's a ball of twine right there. But generally, guys, here's the discussion on that. What you're asking is it important that I have, let's say I'm doing communication through here. So I'm sending a text. This is one that I happen to have a phone number in. I'm sending text, I'm doing phone calls. That leverages a tool that is called the smart number. So it's a shared number. Basically, what you need to be concerned with is all it's doing is this system is smart enough to keep record of the calls you're making, of the text you're sending. You'll be doing this, most of you will be doing this from your handheld device, from the KV Core application on your phone, and you want all of that communication stored. Now, what happens on the other side is the consumer sees that shared number. The system is also smart enough to recognize that, okay, I've got Charlie Hustle in here. He's my client. Somebody calls that shared number. So I may have this number shared with Ken and Matt, but the system is smart enough to route that to me. So my phone rings, my system keeps a record of that. Now, there are some of the more advanced things you can do with this. You can advertise with that number. This tool, obviously, from what you're just hearing, this is a tool that Ken could put out on the side of buses, and people would call that number and they're immediately moved to one of his agents. So there's advertising you can do. But from the standpoint of your concern with having your own number, not necessary at all.
If they want to do it, is there an extra cost, Chris? Is that why you're sort of?
Yeah, there is an extra cost associated with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But look into it if it's important to you. I mean, I think that's the thing too. And Mike Tickle jumped in here and says, I get a lot of great responses from Max Tech birthday texts. It's good. And then Jay says, can you also include multiple birthdays like clients, children's, or pets? So on a contact record, is there a way to do multiple birthdays, or do they set up separate contacts? What's the hack for that?
Yeah,
Chris?
not to trigger that. You can record these things, but they won't trigger that automation. But I like where your head is. I like I like getting creative with it. But no, I mean, if you really want to do it, if they are absolutely, and you probably hear my dog in the background. That might have been what did that. That they love Marley, their pet border collie. You can put that birthday in, and that will fire it. And then of course the response. So this is the tool. We're in a contact record. I went up into the profile details, and that's where you add the birthdays. And then under marketing, under birthdays and anniversaries, you can have this message be anything you want. So you can change what the email message looks like. You can change what the text message looks like. So you can add those, but you cannot have multiples right now that trigger the automation. Okay. Only one will trigger the automation.
So probably the hack to that, Jay, would be how you tag your person and inserting multiple contact records, if you really wanted to be sure you get that. But I think that's great. And yeah, we should not, as we've discussed, underestimate the value of a birthday text or whatever. So let's as a group explore that a little bit more. And Jay, I think you're thinking, like Chris said, you're thinking along the right lines. So
I love the creativity.
Yeah, and we can figure it out. Sometimes with these systems, like they have to build it on a real broad scale, and there's little workarounds to get accomplished what you want to do. And most times, though, if you put your head to it, we can figure that out. So cool. Well, if anybody else has anything, if they don't, then we'll wrap up. Chris, we'll give you a big virtual round of applause. We appreciate all that, Chris. Thank you very much. And then for us and for you guys moving forward, this was day, 9. So we've got 10, 11, and 12. Tomorrow we've been very heavy on lead generation so far. And tomorrow we're going to do, when the phone rings, converting from the contact to the contract, what do you do? So we're going to go and talk a little bit about pre-appointment strategies, pre-appointment packages, high converting presentations. If you need to fine tune your presentation to your buyer, to your seller, part of that will flow into some of what's going on right now with respect to dialogues you use around your commissions. We need to all change that and fine tune that a little bit. And then what happens if you get a co-op fee offered in the MLS, that's zero. We all have that question. We're starting to see it, and we probably will more and more. Like, how do you write that contract properly? So Ken's going to go over that with us. We are going to talk a little bit about ChatGPT and using it to create some of the content that you might be pushing out to people, a pre-appointment package intro letter or a blog like Chris mentioned today. And then using all of this to serve your clients and nurture them, not only to get the business, but to nurture more referrals from the process that you put them through. So that'll be tomorrow. Monday, we've got a video expert coming in, but I also am going to let Ken tell you about a really special guest, because we want you to write Monday into your calendars in pen. We want you to tell the people to the left and the right of you in the office about Monday. It is a big deal. We can't be more excited about our guest on Monday. So Ken, I'm gonna let you announce who our guest is on Monday morning, first thing, 10 a.m.
Well, Matt especially has been working on this, but Matt and I have reached out to somebody very important in the RE/MAX system and asked them to come and just say hi. And over the course of conversation, he offered actually to spend 10 or 15 minutes with us talking about his view of the upcoming year and the state of the market and where things are headed. And this very special guy, you'll recognize his name. It's Nick Bailey, CEO of RE/MAX, and he will be coming for a one-on-one session with our company. This is not just a webinar that he's popping on. It's not a pre-recorded message. Nick's dropping by this session on Monday to give us his view of where things are going, what the market is. And I will tell you, Nick's got his finger on the pulse. He is the man. So I couldn't be more excited about this. It's just amazing that we get that kind of support from the top level of RE/MAX. And please come. He's got good things to say, and tell everybody you know. This is really a very rare opportunity to have the CEO of RE/MAX share some one-on-one time with us. So be there.
100%. If you need a shot in the arm and you could list the top 2 or 3 people, Nick would be on that list. He is, like Ken said, on the pulse of things. And he wants nothing but the best and nothing but success for RE/MAX agents. So we are thrilled that he accepted our invitation and is willing to come and spend some time with us. So like I said, please tell as many people as you can Monday at 10 a.m. So thank you, Linda's. It looked like lots of Linda's. I got Linda's in the comments and Linda's on the screen. So yeah. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10. If you happen to have your Virginia license and you need CE, we do have CE today, which you can get it virtually noon to 2 o'clock. So I will put my number in here if any of you need that really quick. We don't want you to miss that opportunity. Text me and I'll get you the link. We're starting in about an hour on that. But other than that, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and 100% 10 a.m. on Monday and Tuesday as well. And we'll wrap this up. But we can't tell you how excited to see all y'all today, and I just want you to have an awesome day, and we're gonna all crush it in 2024. We're excited for you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.